Hello there, my name is Apocalypse Hero, returning professional card shark in Balatro, and this is the logical next step in the mathematics of a poker-based game, the discards of Balatro, and some Joker stuff and deck stuff too. Similar to the last time I did mathematics regarding cards, I decided that making a simulator and actually just doing the task over 1 million times and taking the average is far easier than trying to understand the math behind the madness. Let's get this disclaimer out of the way. Coding a card drawing and running simulator was hard enough. Adding the functionality to effectively discard was a whole other beast. It took a lot of theory crafting, but I came up with a few algorithms to effectively discard with. That didn't crash my computer when running 1 million times. The basic idea of my methods are discarding any cards not in the plurality for 2 kind, 2 pair, 3 kind, flush, full house, and 4 kind, and for the nightmare that was straights, discarding all duplicates and cards outside of a 1 card gap from the current longest straight, keeping in mind that all percent changes are relative to the initial value. On to the results. Here are the base odds of getting any hand in Balatro with the starting deck. And here are the odds after discarding a single time. As you can see, the majority of hands are dramatically more likely after the first discard with a median increase of about 400%, and pretty much guaranteeing 2 of a kind, and surprisingly increasing the odds of a flush more than the higher likelihood hands before it, which considering the 1 in 4 nature of a flush makes sense. Granted that while the percent increase is a dramatic one, it still leaves low odds hands like 3 of a kind and above relatively unlikely, with 4 of a kind still being more of a pipe dream than anything else. But if we keep discarding, the effects continue their gregarious trend, with a median increase of around 750% likeliness, with 2 pair joining the above 90% odds party, and the remaining average odds hands reaching the 50% odds mark, with the only thing below that being 4 of a kind with a meager 8.5% chance. Moving on to the third discard, the median increase in likeliness is about 900%. With flushes finally joining in on the 90% crew, and the rest of the average hands reaching around 70% likelihood, with 4 of a kind slowly rising and finally reaching about 16%. Now, while this data can be extrapolated further, realistically speaking, you should never use more than 3 discards to achieve a singular hand type, and 3 discards is the base amount allotted to the player. Granted, the red deck gives an additional, there are 2 vouchers each giving 1, and a joker that can theoretically be duplicated giving you even more. So I'll just put the discards necessary to achieve 90% likelihood of any given hand type, since that should be an acceptable level of probability for the average player, with 2 of a kind taking only 1 discard, 2 pair taking 2 discards, flushes taking 3 discards, and 3 of a kind straights and full house taking about 5 discards each, and finally 4 of a kind taking around 7 discards, making it highly unreasonable giving the starting deck as expected. But what about other decks? Well, for the most part, only one of them really changes the deck. In a consistent way. Get out of here, erratic deck! And that would be the Abandoned deck, which lacks any face cards. This deck has a median increase of around 80%, with all the hands being more likely, except for flushes. Since there are less of each suit in the deck, each one taken out lowers the odds of drawing another one significantly more than a deck with a higher card count. Though when discards are factored in, it also increases in likelihood far faster than a larger deck, since there is less trash to walk through, so to speak. Now for the jokers that affect the odds, which there are 3 of, 1 helping flushes, 1 helping straights, and the final helping both. Starting with the flushes, Smeared Joker essentially divides the deck into 2 suits, reds and blacks, which increases the meager 6.9% likelihood of a flush to 70.3%, where the remaining around 30% odds are times where the base 8 card hand size is equally divided among black suits and red suits. Given 1 additional hand size, flushes are guaranteed with the Smeared Joker. The other joker that also helps straights is 4 fingers, requiring only 4 cards to make a flush or a straight as opposed to the typical 5. While not as effective, it still turns the 6.9% odds to a 37.8% odds, which is nothing to scoff at, while also increasing the odds of a straight from 9.8% odds to 29.3% odds. The Smeared Joker and 4 fingers combined also guarantees always having a flush. Now for the final joker, Shortcut, which only affects straights but raises the odds from 9.8% to 53.8%, a hefty increase, and when combined with 4 fingers brings the odds up to 81.7%, which is something you can gamble on. And there appears to be a rumor going around that adding 5s and 10s will increase the likelihood of getting a straight, since every possible straight uses one of the two. Seems reasonable, so I tested it. And the conclusion is, adding 10s and 5s to your deck actually decreases the odds of getting a straight. It turns out the negative effect of having more duplicates available to draw counteracts the increased odds of a guaranteed piece. And to answer the people in the comments from last time about the exclusion of flush straights and royal flushes, the odds are less than 0.3%, and follow similar trends to 4 of a kind, never really becoming a reliable draw regardless of discards. So thanks for watching, and remember, high card is best card.